Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Random Wrestling Talk, episode number 1. And today, we are here with my friend Matthew, my co-host of this episode. Yes, we're gonna try to figure out some way to start doing Google Hangout correctly. I don't know how to do it by uploading videos from Google to YouTube, but if anyone, again, has any ideas, leave comments and opinions down below about this, and I definitely would like to hear from you guys about that. Anyway, getting into things, what do you want to start off with?
Alright, on to the first topic. Recently, you went ahead and pre-ordered WWE 2K16, am I correct?
Yeah, I purchased that wonderful thing.
And, of course, that's been one of the latest topics everyone wants to know, and since we have someone that's been playing that game non-stop since Dawn of Dust, what is your viewpoint on it? Do you think it's better than 15?
Alright, my viewpoints on WWE 2K16 is real simple. A lot of bad glitches. They have got a lot of patches to make up on this game and updates on it. I was recently playing the game earlier this afternoon on my day off from work, and I went ahead and was playing an Elimination Chamber match, and anytime you got near to the chains of the chamber, your character would stick to the wall of the chamber, and you couldn't move. Then eventually you'd fall out of the chamber and on the outside of the arena, where you could wrestle your opponents. And
you actually somehow a glitch where you would bypass the chamber and you wrestle outside?
Somehow, well, I didn't do it. The two computer characters were fighting against each other, and they got stuck to the wall, and then eventually ended up somehow on the outside of the chamber around the arena.
Oh, that thing was escape-proof. Go figure.
Yeah, who would think that the Elimination Chamber wasn't escape-proof? But bottom line about this, technically, to be honest with you guys, is this game has got a lot of stuff to be fixed on. The overall presentation effort behind it was there.
You think they rushed it? You think 2K rushed it?
I think 2K didn't fix all the bugs, and I think that 2K and WWE needs to start making games where they're released a lot later, like not year after year releases. They need to do like a year and a half release to make sure everything's properly well done and put together, so they don't have to go through the troubles of this and having their customers and consumers purchasing this and having to defect the game already before they even can start enjoying all of it.
Alright, that sounds reasonable. So, the only glitch was the chamber match, right?
That, you can't go ahead and create custom title defenses on your universe mode. You can't do a whole lot of anything on this. And it's very, very difficult to deal with. The career mode, I was starting to hate, but now I'm starting to like it. I had a 1-5 record.
Okay, we'll go into the detail of that in a second. Where did you hear about these glitches? Did you go on NoDQ or?
No, I didn't hear these glitches on NoDQ. I just experienced it myself.
And you're just claiming that they're glitches?
Yes, that's basically it. I didn't have to go online to find out about this. I just started having them as I played.
And you're sure that this whole can't customize title matches on Universe Mode is a glitch, or just something they kind of just left out?
It might have been a glitch, or it just might have been left out by mistake because of all the other improvements they were trying to do, and they just forgot to add that in there by mistake. But they have mentioned that they are correcting this, and they will be fixing it within the next patch that they release for it to be updated on your game when it's downloading online.
So we just gotta wait for video pack, right?
No. They actually do the updates, during or before the actual DLC release. So we might see the update right when the first release comes out. You might see it beforehand. I'm thinking probably by like November 30th we're going to see the very first the next patch that comes on and the DLC. So you might be right about that. They might just happen to be putting the update on that and the DLC
Okay,
patch.
so anyone who decides to buy the game afterwards will experience no.
Well, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal in a sense that there's a lot of other things you can do. The Stone Cold Steve Austin campaign is fun. I mean, there are some repetitive things in that storyline, but it's still a fun campaign to do. You also have, trying to think here, you also have the career mode that's a lot of fun. It's a week-to-week thing. It's not like month-to-month kind of scenario where you have the same boring thing.
Alright, so you start the career mode, right?
Yeah, I've started a career mode. I'm at rank number 5 in the NXT division for the NXT World Championship. So I'm moving right along. I'm in a rivalry with Tyler Breeze. So it's kind of interesting.
And you mind telling us about your creative wrestler, or you want to go into details about that?
Just a little bit of detail. The name of the character is Flash Gordon.
Yes. Take me back.
I also, the finisher, he looks a little like Dolph Ziggler in a way with also a beard. He has a Brian Pillman type attitude. He's very crazy and wild. He's a heel character. His signature move is a Stone Cold Stunner of the old days of Stone Cold Stunners. So they're not the best form of Stone Cold Stunners.
It's just stunner.
And I have the finisher as Sweet Chin Music, as a standing Sweet Chin Music, so it's basically a super kick.
Yeah. Okay, super kick and a flip stunner. Interesting.
Yep.
And are you planning on staying having your character stay in NXT, jump to the main roster, join up with the Authority?
Pretty much my whole idea is real simple. He's going to win the NXT World title, drop the belt immediately afterwards, move on to the Intercontinental or the WWE Tag Team titles, and eventually join up with the Authority, because my character is a full-fledged heel, and I'm keeping him that way for a while.
Okay, we look forward to hearing more updates on that in time to come.
Yep, that is correct. Now let's move into something else. We got a lot of talk going on. People think that Roman Reigns ain't ready to be a world champion, or he shouldn't even be the number one contender. What's your thoughts on that?
Of course not. Seth Rollins' time.
Well, getting off of Seth Rollins, because I personally am getting kind of fed up of Seth Rollins. I think it's about time he starts doing something else. Getting in a rivalry with somebody else and whatnot. So what do you think the deal is with Roman Reigns? Do you think he is worthy enough to be a world champion? Giving him a test run just for a month, see how things go, and if nothing else, that he drops the title in December?
That could be something too, because he took part in the main event at WrestleMania and then kind of got brushed aside. The whole Wyatt family deal for the past several months, and now he's back in the title picture. Hopefully, they can at least do something with him, maybe win the title, or what are they planning to do? Maybe next the top of the title again at TLC, and I don't know, force him to take part in the Rumble and maybe win it for the second year in a row.
I don't know about that. I really believe that, in all honesty, I think they need to build from now all the way to WrestleMania a triple threat match between the Shield members for the World Championship. And I said this on a few videos the last 2 times, and I'm still saying it to this point. I truly think that the weight of the shoulders of WrestleMania 32's main event should be thrown on Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins in the main event of that pay-per-view. Because, in all honesty, this needs to be the WrestleMania where the young guys become the main eventers.
The Young Bucks take control, huh?
Yes, they need to start pushing these guys, having some faith in them. I mean, some of the that I've subscribed to, some of the channels I'm subscribed to have said it. They need to start having some faith and give these guys the opportunity to prove themselves. If they wouldn't have given the opportunity, let's go back years ago. Let's just go to like 1997 or even a little further back when Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart were just young guys. And Hulk Hogan was running the show, and he was a top-notch guy. Randy Savage was, and all them. And Vince McMahon didn't give the opportunity to these younger stars like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Kevin Nash, and all these other guys. They wouldn't have gone anywhere.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure Shawn Michaels and Razor stole the entire thing at WrestleMania 10. They stole the shot of that.
Well, yeah, they did, and Owen Hart and Bret Hart stole the show with that match too that they had. You forgot about that one. That was a really great match those two had.
Oh yeah, yes, the opener.
But in all honesty, Matt, I think that they're making a huge mistake. And I think the point that I just threw across makes a lot of sense because if you think about it, they would have never given opportunities to like Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Kevin Nash, all those other names, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and move as time went on.
That's true, because at the time, remember, all WWE's top main eventers were, of course, jumping to WCW, so, of course, at the time, they had to build on their younger talent for the next generation. And here's a good point. Now that we know that supposedly, if this is storyline or whatever, Randy Orton has been taken out of action because of the Wyatt.
No, it's actually a real thing. He is injured. He will be out 4 to 6 months, maybe even longer. He is out permanently, even probably past WrestleMania, from what I heard.
Okay, we know John Cena recently left for some time off to do, I think, a movie or something.
No, it was for a reality TV show. So, I mean, looking at the roster right now, Matt, I mean, you got to see that there is nothing left but young talent that they need to put their faith into.
Yes, so you have the top two guys from the ruthless aggression era to basically the start of the PG era. The two faces, either babyface, heel, whichever one you want to view them as, they're gone. So who do you think should properly fill in those shoes? Either, like you said, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns just basically all three of them fill the shoes, or I think someone else should step up and start getting the push.
Here's what I think. I think, personally, I truly think that they need to go ahead and push these young guys. Those three guys from the Shield, definitely. If they can eventually decide when the hell they want to get Daniel Bryan back, I think the perfect opportunity is one of two things. Right now, for Survivor Series, he joins up with The Undertaker and Kane to face the Wyatt family. He has past history with the Wyatt family, so that would be perfect and make sense, and it would be a great way to introduce him back into the WWE television programming. The other thing they could do is... Hold on a sec. Or they could put Daniel Bryan in the Royal Rumble this coming year and make him win. I think that would be the better option. I think Daniel Bryan deserves the opportunity that everybody's been craving for 3 fucking years.
3 years?
Yeah.
That one year where he didn't have the first match, he wasn't even in the Rumble.
Yeah, that was That was 2014. I really didn't even understand that. It really didn't make a lot of sense. They tried to make sense of it, but still it was pointless.
Yes. And speaking of pointless, last night we had a surprising traditional Survivor Series match on Raw. Of course, I'm sure you mentioned this on your Raw review.
Yeah.
Care to give anyone your thoughts on the match again for those who may have not watched that video?
Yeah, sure. Personally, this match was good. The only issue was the ending. I mean, they always seem Monday Night Raw is their flagship show. You would think that they would go ahead and put a good ending or a meaningful ending for Monday Night Raw's main event. SmackDown, okay, fine. They don't give a shit about SmackDown. Main event, they don't give a shit about that. I don't even know if main event's even shown on WWE Network anymore. I don't even think they show it. But that ain't even the point. The point is, Monday Night Raw is their flagship show. They should have a decent ending, a conclusion to a match, and definitely, I think they.
There was a conclusion, though.
There was no conclusion, Matthew.
Seth Rollins was all by himself. He was getting his ass kicked. He manned up, took a chair, and started.
The conclusion of that match was Seth Rollins got his ass whooped. Okay, big fucking deal. There was no ending to the match, meaning there was no 1, 2, 3 elimination. It was just disqualification.
Sure, but I'll give credit to Kevin Owens for not walking out of the match.
No.
He's been doing it the past couple of weeks.
I actually have mentioned in the last couple of videos, I've noticed that his character has really changed in comparison to what he was against John Cena, and then after he finished the storyline with John Cena, his character has evolved and changed into something else, of one of those goofy, retarded heels, and in this match, he displayed some of his old characteristics, and he had a great match with Dolph Ziggler last night, which I really enjoyed watching. It was actually probably one of the better matches on the card besides the main event. So.
Okay. Yeah. So. Alright.
So what's your next topic of conversation you'd like to throw in this video?
So now that we know they already did a traditional Survivor Series match on Raw, any ideas of what they actually plan to do for, the actual pay-per-view? Survivor Series match?
Well, for starters, we all know that we're going to have the Wyatt family 4-on-4 against Undertaker and Kane with two other partners that the Undertaker and Kane decide to recruit. One small problem about this is that once again are doing the same exact mistake that they did with Bray Wyatt and Undertaker at WrestleMania 31. They're having Bray Wyatt and his group build the storyline, and Kane and Undertaker are nowhere to be found. Not even Kane is doing anything at this point, and we have about 20-something days left before this pay-per-view actually occurs.
I think the pay-per-view is scheduled for the 22nd, so we got about 19 days in counting.
Yeah. So I was, close enough. But point is, they got a lot of other shows that they could fill in storyline build-up, and they just don't use it. SmackDown, it used to be a great show. It used to be the same equal level as Raw. Now, it looks more like a show that you could compare to Main Event or Superstars or something like that. I mean, it's a little bit above that, but still, there is no stories being developed on SmackDown except for the minor stories that, is secondary Main Event type quality, which I don't see anything bad about it, but why not take all those storylines from Raw and carry them on to SmackDown? And vice versa. It's kind of illogical to waste all that time and air and money to show a brand on your program and not do anything with it outside of just establishing regular ordinary matches that don't lead to anything for the stories to even build on.
When's the last time you watched SmackDown, by the way?
Watched bits and pieces of SmackDowns the last couple of weeks, but I haven't really watched a whole entire episode. Doesn't attract my attention much. The only thing that's carrying SmackDown is Roman Reigns and once in a while Seth Rollins. And the Wyatt family, they're always there too. That's it. That's all they got going on SmackDown.
If that's the case, then in your personal opinion, who do you want to see teaming up with the Brothers Destruction against the Wyatts?
As I mentioned, Daniel Bryan would be great. And he also has a tag team history with Kane, so that would be logical to do. And then for the last partner to join with Daniel Bryan, Undertaker, and Kane, I would probably... I don't know. I have really no idea who they could go with. Maybe they can't go with Dolph Ziggler. He's got a rivalry with Tyler Breeze. I really have no idea. I don't know who the hell they could go with. Dean Ambrose, I mean, they could throw Dean Ambrose in the mix with those guys because Dean Ambrose has got nothing to do right now. So, I mean, him being he's still technically having somewhat of a kind of interaction with the Wyatt family. Who?
No, Cesaro, Swiss Superman.
Cesaro, no. Cesaro, if you notice, every once in a while they're throwing little hints or teases of Stardust and Cesaro having somewhat of some kind of storyline going to be developing between them. They're already technically having that. Stardust is basically mocking Cesaro with the Cesaro section signs and using Stardust section signs instead. So, you know that's going to develop into something at some point. It's not something that I enjoy. I think the whole idea is completely fucking lazy and crappy.
You were recently talking about WWE trying to boost up their younger talent. What if, for example, you take the Brother Destruction and have them team up with, say, two superstars from NXT? Who would you pick?
Oh, man. Real simple. Two guys that are competing tomorrow night on NXT for the World Championship. Finn Balor and Apollo Crews, man. That'd be a fucking awesome two guys to put with them. Not to mention, is Apollo Crews a must... They're also saying, have a guy that's intimidating. You know, there's some people I'm subscribed to that say you really should have somebody that's a real juggernaut type of wrestler. He's big, he's intimidating. Apollo Crews would be perfect for that. And Finn Balor being as good of a wrestler as he is, he just would carry himself in that match and be completely entertaining for everyone to watch. So, I mean, they won't lose anything having Finn Balor in that match.
No. I'm actually took me by surprise because I figured he would jump on the boat Joe.
Samoa Joe, he would be good, but I don't think Samoa Joe gives a flying fuck about being on the WWE main roster, to be honest with you.
That's actually somewhat true.
I'd seriously doubt it. I think he's used to the type of formula and style of TNA atmosphere, and that's what NXT is.
I know you only know about watching other programs on network, but recently they had a show, I think it's like 3 at a table or something, when they had 3 superstars sitting down together and having discussion.
Oh yeah, 3 legend table or something like that. Yeah, I remember that. Why?
Something like that. The last episode they recently had was having Neville, Joe, and Bo Dallas on there, and they were just talking.
Yeah, I only watched the very first episode that Cesaro was in, Kevin Owens, and one other guy I forgot. So.
The point I'm making was when we were talking, Joe had mentioned that he was in discussions with JR, and somebody was considering hiring him and putting him into OVW, and if he
I'll tell you what. I don't know what they would have done. I think the thing is, I think Samoa Joe did the right thing by staying with TNA. He had some really classic matches in TNA. I mean, with AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels triple threat matches he had. Actually, both of them, the NXT title match and the one they had years later after that for the World Championship. I think both of those were very good classic matches. He's had a series of classic matches with Kurt Angle. Huh?
And let's not forget his career in ROH, too.
Yeah, he had some great matches with CM Punk. He had a lot of great matches in the independent wrestling circuit that if people have not tuned in and seen before, check it out on YouTube. Type anything, Samoa Joe ROH matches, shit like that. I'm dead serious.
I know that his match with CM Punk will be top of that list.
Huh?
I know that his matches with CM Punk will be on top of that search list.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that will definitely... They had a series of great matches. I think 2 or 3 matches where they were classics. Unfortunately, CM Punk didn't win either one of them. Sorry to be a spoiler there. But it's still worth watching anyway. So we're going to go ahead and we talked about what we were going to talk about over the phone through texting yesterday. But you haven't brought this topic up, so I'll bring it up. That you were going to say, but you haven't said yet. And what do you think about the Survivor Series pay-per-views since 2011?
Since 2011, I'd have to say the most interesting one with a huge pop was, I think last year, the Authority trying to take control of a huge bombshell, Sting coming out of nowhere and screwing them over. I mean, that was a huge pop. For the past one, we've been having just standard matches here and there.
Well, my personal opinion, outside of the 2011 pay-per-view of Survivor Series, I have not been really all that impressed. The only one that matches up to that is 2014's last year's Survivor Series. That Survivor Series main event itself was the fucking pay-per-view, and it was awesome to watch. I've seen it about 2 or 3 times now.
Do you got anything to say about that tag team match? Miz, R-Truth versus Cena and Rock?
I think that was an awesome match. I mean, I didn't expect R-Truth and Miz to actually win anything, but it was still a good match. Compared to the star power from one team to another, the match was awesome to watch. I really enjoyed watching it. Miz did a pretty good job in that match, and so did R-Truth especially. What the funny thing is...
for the eventual match at WrestleMania, right?
The what?
It was also good build-up for the eventual match at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I think that... Are you talking about Miz's match with John Cena at WrestleMania?
No, I'm talking about the match between Rock and Cena, the first
one. The first one was better than the Survivor Series Survivor Series match that they had.
No, I'm saying that was a build-up for it, them having them team up for the first...
Yeah, that was a good build-up towards their match to WrestleMania. I think that's exactly what they needed. Like I said earlier in this video, they really should do the same thing again using a triple threat match between the Shield members. I really think that that's what's needed. I think that's what needs to show to the WWE audience that WWE is putting faith in younger stars. That is my personal opinion. I feel that that's what they need to do. Best way to do that is start off with, Dean Ambrose tries to fuck over, Roman Reigns after maybe he wins the World Championship from Seth Rollins at Survivor Series. Dean Ambrose, once again, they still continue to build up that frustration where he's not really doing a whole lot in his career, and he's playing shadow to Roman Reigns. And then if things aren't going well with Roman Reigns as champion, take the belt off him. Have Dean Ambrose fucking screw Roman Reigns over in a rematch with Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins becomes the champ again and keeps it till WrestleMania and then loses the belt to whoever at that point.
Well, don't forget, there's always plan B, and I'm going to bring this up. When do you think that Sheamus will eventually cash in?
How dare you ask a stupid question like that? How dare you?
That's always plan B.
I'm going to answer the retarded question since the reality of... Here's the answer to that question. Sheamus, if he does cash in, should fucking lose. Nobody gives a shit. I mentioned this on my Monday Night Raw review earlier today. Sheamus is a guy who is carrying around a briefcase, does not have any kind of build-up whatsoever, and I've mentioned this weeks ago, since they've made him the fucking briefcase champion. And they got him teamed with a guy who has another gimmick that's going nowhere, that should be placing him in a future main event spot, and King of the Ring is all just being looked at as a fucking comical joke. That's all it is. I mean, the last person that's been successful with this freaking King of the Ring was Booker T in 2006. Sheamus wasn't nothing with that King of the Ring in 2009. He ended up being on a fucking losing streak to John Morrison. And the only thing he won was a U.S. title. And then eventually the world title later on in 2012. But, I mean, the guy, it was 2010, I believe. Yeah, 2010, he became the King of the Ring. But the guy hasn't done anything whatsoever as the King of the Ring, Wade Barrett. And neither has Sheamus as the briefcase winner. The reality of all of this, real simple.
Well, don't you think the briefcase would be a shot chance for Sheamus to get his career back in order? I want to say stop carrying him with King Barrett.
Could you repeat that one more time?
Well, I'm saying, don't you think the briefcase could be Sheamus' opportunity to boost up his career, as soon as they get rid of that team?
That would work. That would have worked if they would have kept building off of what they had with him earlier this year. The momentum they had with Sheamus earlier this year was excellent. He was a bully. He was beating the shit out of everybody. He was beating the shit out of Dolph Ziggler. He was looking great. Then when he won that briefcase, he lost to Randy Orton. To me, that was a bad sign. You don't have him lose. Other people were saying different. Oh, he lost. It's just one loss. Big deal. I was like, okay, shake that off. It's not a big deal. It's, to be honest, it's an okay thing. You're going to win. You're going to lose. Be realistic. Okay, fine. I was being realistic. Now at this point, we've gotten this far into the year, and all I've seen Sheamus really do is lose or have these matches where he have 10-second matches and annihilates his opponent without having any good, memorable matches with anybody. And that's the problem. He wins, but his wins don't mean shit. Have his wins mean something so that people will remember him and people's minds will build off of that to say, hey, him winning the World Championship wouldn't be that bad of a thing because look at what he's been doing for us as entertainment. He hasn't done shit for me entertainment-wise. He's been garbage.
Maybe Sheamus would be the first guy to win the briefcase and go an entire year without forgetting to cash in until they realize...
What, do what Wait, Sheamus is going to have amnesia and forget that he was supposed to cash in the briefcase and never cash it in?
Yeah, until the next guy wins the briefcase and then
let me put things in perspective. The reality of all this is Sheamus should lose his briefcase to somebody. I don't think he should be the winner of that briefcase. I believe they should do what they did to Kennedy, do this to him. Because they have not been doing right by him with this briefcase. he ain't going to be legitimately...
I know it's going to happen. What's going to happen is Roman Reigns is going to win that Survivor Series, win the title, defend the title at TLC in whatever match they start, either a TLC or a ladder match. Where the point is, he'll retain the title, and then at some point, Seth Rollins is going to attack Sheamus, take the briefcase, and then do the same thing at WrestleMania. He comes in during the match and just screws over and wins again.
I like that idea, but I think it would work better if they did it with Dean Ambrose.
Oh,
Meaning Dean Ambrose beats the shit out of Seth. Or maybe they do a made-up injury, like a kayfabe or storyline injury with Sheamus, and he's no longer the briefcase winner, and they do a tournament to determine the winner of the briefcase, and it ends up being Dean Ambrose. Roman Reigns retains his championship, like you said, and then Seth Rollins attacks him because he was pissed off that he lost, and Dean Ambrose comes out and wins the belt. They've done this before, yes, but it will lead to it would be a perfect way to lead to a triple threat match for the world title at WrestleMania. And I think they should have Seth Rollins win the Royal Rumble.
Well, yes, for me, that's the only thing you get to win, so that makes sense.
It would be a nice twist. You'll have title changes throughout between now all the way up to WrestleMania. I mean, here's what they could do.
I could see Seth Rollins win Royal Rumble. Him and your boy Daniel Bryan be the last two guys, and throws out Daniel Bryan, and then walks away as the Royal Rumble winner. That makes perfect sense.
Well, hold on a second. You have Seth Rollins win the Royal Rumble since he's no longer a part of the title picture. Roman Reigns goes ahead, has 2 matches in a row, once at Royal Rumble, retains his belt against... Dean Ambrose faces Roman Reigns as the champion in the Royal Rumble. Dean Ambrose loses. Then Dean Ambrose faces Roman Reigns at Fastlane for the title. Dean Ambrose somehow, by cheating, gets the belt back. We get a Mick Foley Rock kind of combination here with the title changing hands.
And that's how it's going for the triple threat match.
And then we get to
champion, Seth Rollins the Royal Rumble winner, and of course Roman Reigns.
And then we get rematch clause for the world title at WrestleMania. So you get your triple threat. Boom. There's your storyline right there.
Okay, now who you actually would want to see win that supposed match? Seth Rollins?
No. Seth Rollins had his moment last year. It should be Roman Reigns. Dean Ambrose should be going in as the champion at WrestleMania. That's how I look at it. Dean Ambrose is a heel, Seth Rollins is a heel, and Roman Reigns is the face.
Now who should Authority back up in that match?
Who? What? Back up in what match?
Now who do you see the Authority backing up in that match?
Oh. I don't think the Authority should back up anyone in this match. I think they should be completely unbiased, no involvement, and there shouldn't be any favoritism among those 3 guys in that match. I don't think the Authority should have any way, shape, or form have any kind of storyline involvement with that development of that match. I don't think that because you can notice that Seth Rollins is not having the Authority having so much involvement anymore with him, with his matches, or even with anything that he's doing with his opponents. It's just him and his opponent. That's it. With a little dabbling of the Authority being involved. That's all.
Yeah, sure. But whatever you want to say about Seth Rollins' character being a whiny little bitch, his wrestling abilities is top notch.
Yeah, his wrestling ability is the top notch of the game, Sting himself has said that he's probably one of the best wrestlers he ever worked with, and that's pretty shocking for even Sting to be saying something like that, and I read that on NoDQ.com in an article. So that was very shocking to read. But thing is, I think that should be the focal point of WrestleMania 32. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, let's not forget, 31, we learned more that every match they had that featured a guy from a young guy in the match, so he should have to be the main event be that.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, we're getting kind of close to an hour, so one last topic. I'll let you pick the last topic to throw out there for this vid, and then we will call it quits.
If you could pick any former WWE superstar to make a surprise return, regardless how anyone feels about it, who would you pick?
Can you repeat the question one more time?
I'll say it again. If you could random pick any former WWE superstar to make a surprise return in any situation whatsoever, who would you pick? Regardless how officially WWE feels about that wrestler.
Okay. Kurt Angle.
Really?
I would want to see Kurt Angle return to WWE.
Elaborate?
Huh?
Can you elaborate?
Elaborate?
Yes, explain why you would want Kurt Angle to come back to WWE.
Real simple. It's not that fucking hard to figure out. Look at all the matches that this guy would be able to do. All of the money that you could build off of this guy with the matches he could do. Matches with Daniel Bryan. Fucking Brock Lesnar again. I mean, he's probably the only... I've talked to a friend of mine at work who's a big-time fan of wrestling, and he himself feels like the only legitimate guy that would be believable to beat Brock Lesnar in a match would be Kurt Angle. And that's truthful, because... I mean, he's the only guy that looks believable that could beat him because he's a strategist, he's a technical wrestler, he's not some brawler. I mean, John Cena brawled with him, and he lost. Kurt Angle's a technical wrestler. I think even Bret Hart would be great against Brock Lesnar, only Bret Hart doesn't have the same strength that Kurt Angle does. But regard...
That should be considered... Bret Hart back in his prime.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying like now. God, then you might as well just take a gun and shoot Bret Hart in the fucking head. If you wanted to do that to him, I mean, that's pretty much killing the poor son of a bitch. But yeah, Kurt Angle would have great matches. I mean, he'd have a great match with Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar, fucking Cesaro.
And how would you like to see Kurt Angle return? Where would you want to see his return?
Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble. That's where I would want to see Kurt Angle's initial debut return, at the Royal Rumble. It's perfect timing. One, his contract's coming up in January with TNA. TNA, by the way, is losing their fucking contract with Destination America, so in January they no longer exist on Destination America. Destination America's concerns about pro wrestling is null and void. They don't care about that.
Oh, are you for real? Oh man, that's a huge shocker. I'm like just crying my eyes out. We're like the TNA. Yeah.
But Kurt Angle's got that going on. I mean, TNA is going out of business, but they're slowly but surely will eventually go out of business unless they somehow pull off a miracle.
Remind me, who's the world champion again? Are they still doing that stupid tournament?
The TNA champion?
Yeah, are they still doing that stupid ass tournament?
I would think probably EC3 is the champion, but then again, they might have not completed that tournament yet, because they were using the whole fucking roster to do that tournament. I think that's a little bit of an overkill. Plus, they're using women in this TNA World Championship tournament. There's divas, yes. knockout female wrestlers competing to become world heavyweight champion in the male division.
I just think maybe Awesome Kong or Gail Kim becoming the world heavyweight champion.
Oh, God. That would just show one thing. TNA is officially going out of business in 2016 if they decide to do that.
But China won the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, she also mentioned that Vince McMahon was possibly thinking about making her the WWF champion at one point, which a lot of people think that she was full of shit when she said that. But getting on point, Kurt Angle being in WWE again would make a lot of sense. One, because as I said, the TNA contract's coming up in January. Him returning to Royal Rumble would make a lot of sense because of that. He would be able to make a triumphant return in a major match. Maybe even develop a storyline match for WrestleMania at the Royal Rumble, like he did with Shawn Michaels in 2005. So, I mean, you got all kinds of things that you could do with Kurt Angle in 2016 that I think we as the audience would enjoy and people would value watching his work. So, a lot of money's being missing by not having Kurt Angle part of this whole situation with WWE. But then again...
would you like to see Kurt Angle appear on actual WWE roster or the NXT roster?
I think he should appear on both. I think he would blend in both atmospheres very well. Finn Balor would be a great match for him to have. I think he could...
We start the Kurt Angle-Joe rivalry. That's badass.
Well, here's something else. I think even having Kurt Angle in NXT could make people see NXT being on the same level as the WWE main roster, leading to the idea of the WWE brand split, where you have NXT stars and WWE stars, where you technically have two different companies, only in reality they're in one, and you're having them compete for whoever's better. I think, and you have Kurt Angle on both sides, you could put a lot of value into NXT, even looking more of the level of what WWE is.
That's interesting. Let's just be fair. We all know that NXT is a lot better than the main roster could ever be.
Right now, yeah, there's no denying it. Even though I don't watch it on a regular basis, I can't deny that NXT's talent is 10 times better than Vince McMahon's WWE talent. And the reason why is simple. Because Triple H is putting faith in young stars, and technically, he has no choice in the matter. He doesn't have any big-name old guys in NXT. Only big names he's got is what? Fucking Samoa Joe and Rhino. That's it.
That's fine off, but the point is, they're doing a great job building up these young guys from the indies, making them big names, and then what does Vince do? Vince brings them to the roster and just...
No. Hold on a second. I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to be in Vince McMahon's corner on this one on the defense of Tyler Breeze. He brought Tyler Breeze right into NXT, and he's not changed his character. He's left him the same, and he's still playing the character that everyone likes him as. Me personally, I don't like his character, but I've seen his in-ring work, and I love it.
Okay, you don't like his character. He should remain the same, pompous, egotistical, pretty boy, whatever. And while they kind of blew the huge pop I had used to appear on SmackDown 2 weeks ago.
What do I think? What?
Why appear on SmackDown? If you want to build up a rivalry with
Yeah, I didn't agree with that option. I thought that idea was really stupid. That segment should have been saved for Monday Night Raw. I think they had the Miz TV show segment on the Monday Night Raw episode, so everyone would view it, because everyone watches Raw and not SmackDown for the most part. So I disagree with what their decision was on that. But
okay, all right. Now, before we wrap everything up,
yep.
you mentioned there will be the NXT title match tomorrow night. Whether you watch it live or catch a replay.
I might catch it, definitely. I don't know about live, but I'll definitely catch it. You're going to ask me, who do I think wins?
Yes.
I think, and this guy is heavily liked by all WWE officials. He was a big name in the independent circuit locally where he was at. Vince McMahon's crazy over him. Triple H likes him. Triple H and Vince McMahon value his work. People like his work. I think Apollo Crews wins the World Championship from Finn Balor. I think that's what they could do. I think either one will really work because I think either one the fans like. So it's a win-win situation, really. But I think they might go with Apollo Crews winning the title from Finn Balor because of his build, his look, his in-ring ability, and because both Triple H and Vince McMahon both like him. But I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, and we could probably exclude the psychological warfare since we probably won't see the demon on in it tomorrow night.
Well, I don't know. I don't watch NXT on a regular basis, so I don't know what's going on in the storyline build-up. But I'm definitely going to catch the world title match, see how it turns out, and hopefully it's a good one. But anyway, at this time, everybody... Oh, but before I go, I want you to give me your impression. Who do you think's going to win the NXT World Title?
Well, since you were Crews, I guess I'll go with...
Finn Balor?
Finn Balor retaining the title. Maybe we'll see a rematch at the next takeover.
Yeah, I don't... I see more of the logical reasoning going behind Finn Balor winning, but I think there's like a slight case that they're going to try to do a surprise victory with Apollo Crews. People not expecting it, which would be a smart move, and then eventually maybe get the title back to Finn Balor. But either or, personally, like I said, is a win-win situation. But at this time, everybody, thank you very much for watching episode number 1 for Random Wrestling Talk. And this is me signing out, Bruce, and my co-host, Matthew. Thank you very much for watching. Any last words before we go? Alrighty. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hit the subscribe button, leave your comments and opinions down below. As always, I will get back to you. And thank you very much for watching, and have a great night, guys. Bye.